I don't even remember how I got there. One minute, I was half asleep, mindlessly scrolling through YouTube's recommended feed, and the next, I was staring at something that shouldn't exist. The thumbnail was nothing special, just static, like a broken VHS paused mid-frame. The title read Untitled Footage 4. No views, no likes, no comments. Uploaded by a channel with a name that looked like Keyboard Smash. Still watching 1999. It shouldn't have caught my attention, but something about that 1999 made me click. Maybe nostalgia, maybe curiosity. I wish I could blame it on something simple. The video started with silence. Not the usual YouTube silence either, it was too thick, like it was swallowing the sound around me. The first image was a shaky camera panning over a neighborhood at dusk. Familiar houses, familiar fences. For a moment, I couldn't place it. Then the frame lingered on a red mailbox at the end of the street, and I froze. It was my street. I paused, rewound, played again. The video quality was low, washed out like something shot on an old handheld. But there it was, my mailbox, the same dent from when I was 16 and backed into it. The timestamp read, 1995. That didn't make sense. I wasn't even born yet. I scrolled down to the description box, hopping for some explanation, maybe a comment, a hashtag, something. Nothing, just a single period, no upload date, no metadata. The camera kept moving as if the person holding it knew where they were going. It stopped outside a window, my window. Only the curtains were open and I could see someone inside. Someone who looked like me. I felt that weird, sinking nausea that happens when your brain tries to rationalize the impossible. Same haircut, same hoodie I was wearing right now, same expression, confused, staring at the screen. My heart was hammering. I checked the reflection in my monitor. My room looked exactly like the one in the video. Same posters, same crooked lamp. I turned around just to make sure, and the camera on screen turned too, in perfect sync. I whispered, "What the hell?" The video glitched. The audio returned, low and distorted, a whisper beneath the static. "You're watching late tonight." I slammed the spacebar, paused. My cursor hovered over the timeline, trembling. When I hovered near the end of the video, I noticed something. It wasn't done. The bar was still loading. Live buffering. That shouldn't happen. This wasn't a live stream. I unpaused. The video flickered, showing a close-up of my computer screen, me, sitting exactly as I was, hand frozen on the mouse. Then a few seconds of black. And finally a single frame, my bedroom door slightly open. Except in real life it was closed. That's when I realized the video was still live. I should probably start from the beginning. I've always had this bad habit of watching weird stuff late at night. Not scary movies or horror channels, no, that's too deliberate. It's the strange, forgotten corners of YouTube that get me. The ones that don't even seem meant for anyone to find. Old VHS transfers with no titles. Local access TV clips from the 80s. Broken uploads that end mid-sentence. There's something comforting about it, like peeking behind the curtain of the internet. You start with one normal video, maybe an old tech commercial or a top 10 obscure games countdown, and before you know it, the algorithm drags you down into the mud. You lose track of time. You forget what you were even searching for. That's exactly where I was that night. It was around 2:43 a.m. I remember because the clock on my taskbar was the only other light in the room besides my monitor. The air felt heavy, the kind of stillness that only exists at stupid hours when you're awake against your better judgment. I was watching a compilation called TV Sign-Offs from Abandoned Stations, and YouTube's autoplay had me hostage. Then the recommendations changed. Usually it's predictable retro commercials, liminal space compilations, vaporwave edits, but this was different. The thumbnails were darker, washed out, like old tapes scanned badly. The titles looked auto-generated. Footage 001, Surveillance Archive, Smile Tape. And then one thumbnail caught my eye. It wasn't the title or the image, it was the channel name beneath it. Still watching 1999. I almost laughed. Okay, that's pretty on brand for internet horror, I thought. I clicked on the channel out of pure curiosity, expecting a handful of fake ARG-style uploads. Instead, I saw dozens of videos. No descriptions, no tags, all titled untitled footage followed by a number. The oldest ones had upload dates from before YouTube even existed. At first, I figured it had to be an art project or maybe an elaborate prank. I scrolled through the thumbnails, empty streets, static, half-lit rooms. The kind of liminal nothingness people use for horror aesthetics. But something about them felt real, grainy in a way you can't fake with filters. I sent a link to my friend Marcus on Discord. Me, bro, look at this channel, it's like lost security tapes or something. Marcus, dude, that's probably an ARG. Don't feed it views law. Me, no, seriously. Some of these uploads say 1990. Marcus, yeah, sure. YouTube time travel, get some sleep, man. He wasn't wrong, I was tired. My eyes burned, but I couldn't stop scrolling. Every time I refreshed, new videos appeared, different timestamps, different scenes. There was something oddly hypnotic about it. One video, untitled footage 12, showed a playground, empty, wind blowing through the swings. Then it cut to a single frame of someone standing in the corner of the screen, almost invisible, a silhouette. I thought maybe it was a trick of compression, but when I paused and zoomed in, I swear I could make out a smile. I told myself it was nothing. Compression artifact, pareidolia, the human brain finding faces where there aren't any. But the next video made it harder to brush off. It showed a living room, old furniture, floral wallpaper, one of those boxy TVs from the early 2000s. The feed flickered like it was filmed from a CRT reflection. I leaned closer, squinting. There was movement on the screen, a faint reflection of someone standing behind the camera. That's when I noticed something that made my skin crawl. In the channel sidebar where subscribers should have been, there was nothing. Not zero, not hidden, just blank space. Like the feature didn't exist for this account. No description, no upload history, no about section. Only a creation date, April 6, 1999. I clicked about anyway, hopping for an email or a website link. The page glitched for a second, just a flicker, probably my browser. But when it loaded, a short message appeared under the channel name. Still watching. I laughed nervously and minimized the window. The whole thing was too weird, but my brain was already hooked. You know that feeling when you tell yourself to stop scrolling, but your hand keeps moving, like your curiosity betrays you. Yeah, that's where I was. I went back to the main video list, scrolling down until I reached the bottom. The last few thumbnails looked corrupted, distorted faces, shapes, static, like the image data was decaying. I hovered over one called Untitled Footage 21, and the preview that popped up was nothing but black. Just black and a faint sound in the background like breathing. I remember thinking maybe it's just a mic glitch. Maybe. Still, I copied the channel link. Something told me I'd want to look at it again later or show someone. Not now, though. I wasn't ready to see what was inside those videos yet. I'll show you what I saw later. But for now, let's just say the thumbnails looked familiar. The first video I clicked didn't seem scary at all. In fact, it looked boring. Just shaky footage of a parking lot under gray skis. The title read Untitled Footage 24, and the timestamp in the corner said 2007. At first glance, it was nothing special, the kind of unremarkable home video your parents might have recorded on a cheap camcorder. But there was something off about it. The layout of the buildings, the blue dumpster, the cracked yellow lines. It took me a second to realize why it felt so familiar. It was my old high school parking lot. The same one I walked through every morning for 4 years. The same one where I used to sit in my car before class, blasting music and trying not to think about anything. The video quality was awful, but I could tell. Even the tiny graffiti tag under the basketball hoop was there. A cold, irrational panic hit me. I laughed it off at first. Maybe this was public footage or someone else's high school that just looked like mine. But the longer I watched, the harder it became to deny. The camera panned across the lot slowly, methodically. A few students walked by, blurry shapes in outdated clothes. For a split second, I thought I recognized one of them, a friend I hadn't spoken to in years. I skipped ahead in the video. The screen jumped, cutting abruptly to a different location, a gas station, my gas station, the one 2 blocks from my house. The timestamp read 2008. There was no narration, no edits, no music, just the hum of a distant car engine and faint wind hitting the microphone. At that point, my logical brain was still trying to explain it. Maybe someone was archiving public surveillance footage. Maybe the channel scraped data from somewhere. But there were too many coincidences, too much specificity. Another video, Untitled Footage 27. This one showed the street where I live, same houses, same cracked sidewalk, same flickering streetlight that's been broken for years. I felt my skin tighten as I watched the camera drift closer to a familiar mailbox. Red, dented, chipped paint. Mine. I paused the video. My hands were sweating. I checked the channel's upload list again. Each video looked the same, quiet, static, mundane places. But now every location felt like a piece of my life, cataloged without permission. That's when I noticed the most recent upload sitting at the top of the list. No number this time, just a single word, next. The thumbnail was black. I hesitated. I hovered over it and YouTube's little preview box appeared, but there was no image, no sound. Just the faintest flicker of static, like breathing through a storm. I shouldn't have clicked it. But I did. The video started in darkness. For a few seconds there was nothing, no audio, no visuals. Then the feed snapped into focus, revealing a dimly lit view of a residential street. My street. The camera angle was low, like someone crouching behind a bush across the road. I leaned forward, heart hammering. The house across from mine came into view, my neighbor's porch light, my own window glowing faintly in the background. It wasn't an old video. The cars were the same, the weather was the same. It was now. I typed furiously on my phone. Me, Marcus, go to this channel right now. I swear to God this is my street. Marcus, bro, it's 3 m. Send the link tomorrow. Me, no now, look for a video called Next. Tell me what you see. While waiting for him to reply, I turned the volume up. I could hear something under the faint hiss of static, a rhythmic, uneven sound, like slow breathing. The camera started to move again, panning toward my window. The glass reflected a single dim light, my desk lamp. I reached over, turned it off, and froze. On screen, my window went dark too. My stomach dropped. Marcus, okay, I see it. Weird footage, but I think it's like pre-recorded or something. Me, check the timestamp. Marcus, it says, wait, it says live. I didn't even realize I was holding my breath. The video continued for another 20 seconds. The camera crept closer. The angle tilted slightly upward until my entire window filled the frame. Then, for just one heartbeat of a moment, I thought I saw movement inside, a faint outline in the reflection. Someone standing behind me. I spun around. My room was empty. I turned back to the monitor, but the video was gone. The page had refreshed itself. Next had vanished from the list, as if it was never uploaded at all. Marcus kept texting. Marcus, yo, it disappeared. You delete it. Me, no, it's just gone. Marcus, dude, this has to be an ARG. You're overthinking it. I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted that more than anything. But there was something I couldn't ignore, something small, stupid, and impossible. When I scrolled to the top of the channel again, a new video had appeared. It was titled Untitled Footage 28. And the thumbnail showed me, sitting in front of my computer, staring at the screen. I tried to take a screenshot, but before I could, the video count jumped again. 29, 30, 31, each one appearing faster than the last, like someone was uploading in real time. I closed the tab, then reopened it. The uploads were still there. Every video thumbnail now showed me in a slightly different pose, turning, looking, reacting, like I was being filmed from multiple angles at once. I unplugged my webcam, threw my phone camera face down on the desk, and just sat there shaking. For a long moment, I didn't move. Then I noticed something else. The view counter on Untitled Footage 28 wasn't 0 anymore. It was 1. The upload schedule didn't stop there. It predicted me. I stopped sleeping after that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that upload list growing, another thumbnail, another clip of my life. At first, I tried to ignore it. I didn't tell anyone else, not even Marcus. I convinced myself I'd fallen for some elaborate prank, or maybe an AI-generated deepfake meant to go viral. But the uploads wouldn't stop. Every morning when I woke up, there'd be a new one. Untitled Footage 32, 7:08 a.m. That was the exact time I brushed my teeth. Untitled Footage 33, 8:13 a.m. Me. Walking out the front door, checking my phone. Each video was time-stamped a few minutes after the actual moment happened, like a delay in a live stream. The angles varied, sometimes grainy like old security cams, sometimes crisp and modern, as if filmed right there in the room. I stopped watching them all the way through. I couldn't, but curiosity has a way of winning. One morning, I clicked a random upload titled Untitled Footage 36. The video began with my kitchen, empty. Then I entered the frame, yawning, opening the fridge, grabbing a drink, the same motion I'd made less than an hour ago. When I turned toward the camera in the video, my eyes met the lens. I froze, because in the footage I smiled. I hadn't smiled. That wasn't me. That night I tried to delete my YouTube account. Nothing happened. My profile refreshed, but the same strange channel remained in my recommendations feed, still watching 1999. I tried to block it, tried reporting it. No option worked. Every refresh brought it back. And every time I did something, move rooms, open a window, step outside, a new upload appeared. I decided to test it. I put on my shoes, grabbed my keys, and stepped outside. The air was cold and heavy, like the world was waiting for something. I walked to the corner of my street, just far enough to lose sight of my house. Then I pulled out my phone, opened YouTube, and refreshed the page. A new video had appeared. Left home. It had 0 views. I clicked on it before I could stop myself. The footage showed me that same second walking down the street, phone in hand, from behind. I turned around in real life, scanning the houses, the trees, the dark windows. Nothing. No camera. No sound except the quiet hum of power lines. It was like the world itself was filming me. When I got back inside, I covered every camera I could find, laptop, TV, even the tiny lens on my doorbell. None of it mattered. The next upload appeared 15 minutes later. Back home. I didn't click it. Instead, I opened my journal and started taking notes, times, dates, titles. That's when I noticed the pattern. Every upload matched something personal. 35, argument with Marcus. 36, drinking orange juice. 37, nightmare about drowning. The nightmare part really got me, because I hadn't told anyone about it. And yet there it was, Untitled Footage 37, drowning. I didn't even watch that one. Just seeing the thumbnail was enough. There's something I haven't told you about the thumbnails. They weren't still images. They moved, slightly, like those old lenticular prints that change when you tilt them. I'd refresh the page, and each time the thumbnails shifted just a bit, eyes blinking, mouths twitching, heads turning. I caught my own face once mid-blink, and I swear it looked at me. It sounds insane, I know. If this were just some haunted tape or digital virus, maybe I could have laughed it off. But this wasn't random. It was intentional. It was observant. What if YouTube's algorithm wasn't recommending? What if it was watching? I couldn't shake the thought. The whole internet runs on patterns, on predictive behavior. What if the platform knew me so well it started anticipating me, knowing what I'd do before I did it? That idea should have stayed theoretical, but the next morning it stopped being one. A new video appeared before I got out of bed. Title: Untitled Footage 38. Timestamp: 6:42 a.m. I blinked at the clock beside me. 6:42. I was still lying there. I watched the upload count tick higher in real time. 39, 40, 41. The more I tried to ignore it, the faster they appeared. That's when I realized something else. Each new upload had a name, not mine, not random words anymore. Names I didn't recognize. Until the newest one appeared. It didn't say untitled at all. It had your name. At some point, curiosity stopped being curiosity. It became survival. I needed to understand what Still Watching 1999 was. I told myself if I could trace it, find the source, the IP, anything, maybe I could make it stop. Maybe I could make sense of it. The first thing I did was dig into the metadata of the videos. I downloaded a few of them, ignoring the part of my brain that screamed, "Don't keep those files on your computer." The metadata was strange. Every file's creation date was December 31st, 1999, exactly at 11:59:59 p.m. Every single one. That made no sense. Even the ones that clearly depicted events from last week had that timestamp, like they'd all been generated in the same second, 26 years ago. I thought maybe it was just a glitch. Maybe the uploader was using some retro filter to mess with people. But then I found something else. Hidden inside the metadata were short text strings buried deep within the file's properties. They weren't random. The first one said, "Keep watching." The second, "You left the light on." The third, "Next upload, 03:14 a.m." That one was time-stamped, just a few hours ahead of my local time. I shut my laptop. That night I didn't sleep. I sat in the dark with my phone waiting. At exactly 3:14, my notifications pinged. YouTube had a new upload recommendation for me. Untitled Footage 42, Watching Back. I didn't click it, not then, I couldn't. Instead, I started searching for the channel's name on Google. Nothing. DuckDuckGo, Reddit, even old archived pages through the Wayback Machine, zero results. But then I noticed something strange. Every search I ran autocorrected to Still Watching 1999. That underscore wasn't there before. I followed that version of the name and found a single result. A cached forum thread from a site that looked like it hadn't been touched since the early 2000s. The thread's title was, "If you see the channel, do not engage." There were dozens of comments, all anonymous, most deleted, but the ones that remained were worse. "It copies behavior. It knows your schedule before you do. If it uploads something called mirror, unplug everything." The last comment was dated 2013. The username, Hamza1999. That wasn't my name, obviously, but the 1999 part, it felt personal now, like it was a date I should remember but couldn't. I showed all of this to Marcus the next day. He just laughed. "Dude, you've been binging too many ARG channels. It's probably some promo stunt." I checked the IPs, I told him. They're masked, not even on public servers. Marcus shrugged. You're talking like you're in a creepypasta, man. I am, I whispered, half joking, half not. Still, he helped me dig deeper. He ran a code scraper on the channel page, looking for hidden text. That's when we found the comments section. At first glance, it looked normal random usernames, short phrases, timestamps. But then Marcus froze. Wait, he said, these are future dates. He scrolled down and pointed at one that read, "Don't open your door tomorrow at 9:47. Posted by an account called FutureSelf07. There were others. Marcus should have stayed offline. We already watched this version. Stop talking to yourself. The comments weren't just creepy, they were predictive. When we refreshed the page, new ones appeared, time-stamped minutes into the future. Marcus backed away from the screen. Okay, dude, I'm done. Delete this shit. But I couldn't. Because just below those comments, there was a pinned message from the channel admin. No username, just a grayed-out profile icon and a message. Keep watching. That phrase again, the same one hidden in the metadata. That night, I got an email. The subject line was blank. The sender address read, admin at stillwatching1999 net. Inside was a single sentence. We liked the test, try something harder. Attached was a link to an unlisted YouTube playlist. I know I should have deleted it, but if you've ever been knee-deep in something you need to understand, you'll get why I clicked. The playlist contained 13 videos. No titles, just dates, all spaced 1 week apart, starting from last month and ending next week. The first 12 were mundane, but there was something off. I recognized people, coworkers, random strangers, my mailman. Each video showed them going about normal life, walking, eating, talking, except each clip ended a second before something bad was about to happen. A car screech, a light flicker, a shadow in the frame. And the 13th video. Its thumbnail was completely black. I hovered over it for a long time, my mouse shook. Every instinct told me not to press play. I told myself I wouldn't, but of course I did. I'm not going to describe what was in that last video. Not because I can't, but because I shouldn't. You'll just have to take my word for it. It wasn't possible. And I'm not trying to scare you, I'm trying to protect you. Marcus called me while I was still staring at the black screen. His voice was shaking. Did you get an email too? What? I asked. He sent me a screenshot, same sender, same subject line. Only his said, "Stop helping him." That's when the lights flickered. And when I checked my inbox again, there was another email waiting. Same address. No subject. No text. Just a thumbnail image of my front door. The timestamp now. I didn't move, didn't breathe. Because a second later, another message arrived. No words this time, just a link. A YouTube link. The title of the video. Live stream right now. The link opened instantly. No loading, no buffering, just a blank black screen and a red banner at the corner. Live. At first, I thought it was a glitch, maybe some embedded camera feed from one of my devices. But then the image resolved, the pixels sharpening into something unmistakable. It was my apartment. The camera angle was high, impossibly high, like someone had mounted a hidden camera in the corner of my ceiling, exactly where there shouldn't be one. I scanned the real room, heart pounding, eyes darting across every shadow. There was nothing there. No light, no lens, nothing. But on the stream, I was there sitting on my couch, laptop open, staring into the glow of my own screen. It was live. My every twitch and blink mirrored perfectly with no delay. And the view count, 1. Just me. I typed something in the chat, who's streaming this? But the message didn't appear. The chat box flickered, then filled itself with a single automated response. Keep watching. I whispered it out loud without meaning to. And as soon as I did, the version of me on the stream whispered it too. Same words, same tone, perfectly synced. That's when I realized the stream wasn't lagging, it was anticipating. I moved my hand. The me on screen moved a split second before I did. I slammed the laptop shut. My pulse was hammering in my ears, my skin crawling with static. But then, muffled through the laptop lid, I heard a sound, faint, distant, distorted. It was my own voice. I opened the laptop again. The feed was still live. Now the camera was closer, zoomed in slightly, framing my shoulders, the back of my neck. I could hear my voice repeating the same line over and over. "Don't turn around." Except I hadn't said that. The me on the screen had. My phone buzzed Marcus. I answered, trying to keep my voice steady. "Bro, what the hell did you send me?" "I didn't." "I clicked that link," he interrupted. "It's streaming your apartment right now. I can see you." "Wait, what?" "It's still live, dude." And then the line cut out. The stream stuttered, pixelated, then cleared again, and now the camera was slowly panning across the room. My room. Every detail was perfect. The cracked mug on my desk, the half-drawn curtain, the tiny scratch on my monitor. Then the feed shifted again, moving toward the hallway, the dark corridor that led to my bedroom. The screen was shaking slightly now, as if the person holding the camera was walking. I couldn't move. I just sat there watching myself watch it, breathing too fast. The camera turned one last time and stopped. Something stood in the hallway. Not quite human. The pixels glitched around its outline, bending and warping like the stream couldn't process it. I could barely make out its shape, tall, faceless, leaning just slightly forward. Watching. The version of me on screen turned toward it. The real me didn't. And then, right before the feed cut out, I saw it move. A single, jerky step forward. The stream froze. Then the image fragmented into white noise, like a TV losing signal. I sat there for what felt like an hour, staring at the words beneath the video. Stream ended 0 seconds ago. And just below that, the viewer count flickered from 1 to 0. I refreshed the page. The video was gone, deleted. No history, no record, like it had never existed. I was the only viewer. The apartment was silent, but not comfortably silent, empty silent. That kind of stillness that makes your heartbeat sound too loud. I unplugged the laptop, my phone, the router, everything. I tore the cables out like they were infected, like maybe if I destroyed the connection, I could take back control. When I yanked the last plug, the power in the apartment died completely, a blackout. For a moment that felt like safety, like silence was the only way out. Then from the dark I heard a sound. The faint hum of static. It wasn't coming from my laptop this time. It was coming from inside the wall, the same spot where that impossible camera angle had been. I pressed my ear against it. The static grew louder, pulsing like a heartbeat. And then, buried beneath the noise, I heard it whisper, "You shouldn't have stopped watching." That was the moment I decided to destroy everything, every device, every screen. I thought if I deleted it all, it would stop watching me. But I was wrong. I thought I'd escaped. After the blackout, I packed what I could into a single duffel bag and left. New apartment, new city. I didn't even tell Marcus where I was going. I threw my old laptop into a dumpster behind a gas station halfway across the state, bought a new one in cash, new internet provider, new Google account, new everything. For the first time in weeks, I felt clean, disconnected. The first night in the new place, I sat on the bare floor with a frozen pizza and silence. No Wi-Fi, no screens, just the sound of the refrigerator humming in the background. It was bliss. I told myself I'd stay offline for a while, but old habits die hard. After a few days, I cracked. I just wanted something to play in the background while I unpacked, something harmless. I created a new YouTube account. No personal info, no synced history, no logins. A fresh start. The algorithm didn't know me yet. All it offered were random cooking videos, cat compilations, some obscure documentary about VHS tapes. I laughed at that one. The irony wasn't lost on me. Then on the fourth night, something changed. It was around 2:00 a.m. I was half asleep, autoplay running while a video about haunted arcade machines played softly through my speakers. When it ended, YouTube loaded a new recommendation, something with no thumbnail, just static again. The title read, "Welcome Back." For a second, I thought it was a glitch, some random coincidence. But then I saw the uploader's name. Still watching 1999. My stomach dropped. I clicked the channel name, hands trembling. It shouldn't have been possible. I wasn't logged into any of my old accounts. Different device, different IP, different everything. But the channel was there. Same cryptic uploads, same black thumbnails. Except now, there was a new banner at the top of the page. It said, "We missed you." The latest upload had gone live just minutes earlier. Welcome back. Against every instinct I had left, I clicked. The video opened on a familiar room, a small apartment with unpacked boxes, a cheap lamp, a pizza box on the floor. My apartment. The footage wasn't live this time. It was a recording from an angle that didn't exist. The timestamp was last night. In the video, I was sitting on the floor, laptop open, scrolling through videos, laughing at something off-screen. Then, as the me on the screen reached toward the camera to close the laptop, the frame froze. Text appeared across the image. "You can't unsubscribe." I slammed the laptop shut so hard, I thought I cracked the screen. When I opened it again, my YouTube homepage had refreshed. Every video recommendation was gone, replaced by identical static thumbnails, each titled only by a number. 4. I didn't click any of them. I didn't have to, because even as I watched, the titles started changing, updating. Hamza watches. Hamza leaves. Hamza returns. Hamza watches again. It was writing itself. That's when I realized something. The viewer count on each video, it wasn't just one anymore. It was increasing. Then 5, then 12. And when I refreshed the page, the count jumped to 1,326. That's when I understood. It wasn't just watching me anymore, it was sharing me. The channel had spread through my uploads, my comments, my digital fingerprints. Every interaction, every algorithmic suggestion, every autoplay chain that began with me. It wasn't a loop, it was a network. And if you're hearing this, if you've ever stayed up too late, scrolling YouTube until the recommendations start feeling off, if you've ever clicked a video with no thumbnail, no description, no comments, you might already be part of it. Because the channel didn't just find me. It's finding you. I don't know how long it's been. Days, weeks. I stopped keeping track after the clocks in my apartment started showing different times. At some point, I realized time doesn't matter anymore. Not when everything is being uploaded somewhere else before it even happens. I used to think I could escape by deleting everything. But the truth is, it's not the devices that matter. It's the act of watching. That's the part I never understood. The channel doesn't upload videos, it uploads moments. Every view is a recording. Every click is another file. And the more people watch, the more real it becomes. You think you're safe because you're just listening to a story, because I'm the one telling it. But that's how it starts. That's how it always starts. The first time I saw it, I thought I'd stumbled onto something impossible. Now I understand. It stumbled onto me. After the welcome back video, I stopped sleeping altogether. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard that whisper, "Keep watching." I'd wake up with my laptop open, YouTube autoplaying things I didn't remember clicking. Each one felt like a memory mine, but wrong somehow. Slightly off. The colors too warm, the angles too precise. Like someone was reconstructing my life from footage they shouldn't have. And then, a few nights ago, I opened YouTube again. The homepage was blank. Just one recommendation, sitting at the top of the screen like it had been waiting for me. It was titled, "You're Watching Now." The thumbnail wasn't static this time. It was my face. Not live, not a photo, but a frame frozen in the exact expression I was wearing at that moment. I didn't click it. I didn't have to. It autoplayed. The video began with static, then my voice, this voice, starting from the very first line. I don't even remember how I got there. It was this story. Every word, every pause, every breath exactly as I said it. Even this moment, right now, I could see myself speaking the same words on screen. That's when I realized this isn't just a retelling, it's the upload. This video is the new entry. You're not watching a story about the channel, you're watching on the channel. Look at your screen for a second. Notice how the progress bar is still moving even when I stop talking. Notice how there's no comment section anymore. No like button. You didn't click this video by accident. You were recommended it. That's how it finds you, not through the dark web, not through secret forums or cursed code. Through autoplay, through curiosity. Through people like me. You wanted to know what I saw. You wanted proof. Well, congratulations, you're part of it now. When this video ends, don't refresh your feed. Don't check what's next, because if you do, you'll see a new thumbnail. No title, no views, just static. And when you hover over it, you'll catch a glimpse, a reflection that looks a little too familiar. That's the moment it starts recording. You'll feel your camera turn on just for a second. Your screen will flicker. Maybe you'll convince yourself it's nothing. You'll tell yourself you imagined it. That's what I told myself too. But when you wake up tomorrow and check your recommended tab, there'll be one new video waiting for you. It'll have your name on it. And when you press play, you'll see me sitting here in the same dim light, whispering this same warning again. Because the channel doesn't end, it just changes hosts. And now it's yours. So if a video titled, "I found a YouTube channel that shouldn't exist," ever shows up again, don't click it. Check your recommended tab.